Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frontier Losers Finals. We've got a great day planned ahead for you guys. We've got BRE versus Banana Legion. It's going to be a great time, a fun match. And in the winners side of the bracket, we have Secret X waiting in the grand finals for whoever wins this match. I'm aside with Awoken. Welcome, Awoken.
How's everyone doing? Yeah, like you said, Gyrodos, we've got two great matches coming up for you guys, and I'm really looking forward to what we have in store. Unfortunately, it looks like the stream is dropping quite a bit of frames, so hopefully we can get that fixed sooner than later. All right. All right, we're in the green now. We should be all set. So, if any of that did get cut out by the dropped frames, we do have a great match coming up between Banana Legion and BRE, also known as Dominik something, also known as Jamasiah.
Yes.
We're just gonna call them BRE or Brie for the cast. But
Exactly.
yeah, a great match between those two is up and coming, and the winner of that is going to be playing Secret X in Grand Finals. So definitely a lot to look forward to there if you want to show off the lineups for us.
All right. So on Banana Legion, we have Aplex giving his PoE for us. Very kind of him. We have Ewan. We have Parishi, who is the equation. Rampo, Royal, and Zeta for Banana Legion. And for BRE, we have Bowen, Falso, JB, LMDS, Starlo, and Thomas. These guys are going to be ramping it up. BRE, unfortunately, very early on went into the loser's side, and even our team, the Stick, had to play them in the loser's side. And of course, we ended up losing, because that's why they're here. Banana Legion made a very good run in the winner's side, ended up beating BRE. And
Yeah,
now
making it all the way to winners finals.
Exactly, and they had to play Secret X, and they lost to them, and now they're coming back for the rematch against BRE. So it's going to be a great time. We might even see two rematches today. You never know. Maybe BL will pull off the underdog victory.
Upset for a second time. They've shown they can do it once. So
I've been told that it's Hedgie, not Parishi, actually. So that's my bad. But yeah.
So yeah, that would be Hedgie. That is FZ ZZ plus C. But either way, what we do know is that with all the shuffling around of the top level teams, with Frenzy coming in and basically being Team World for a Worlds in an MKU, and then disbanding and dispersing their members among a few different clans, Thomas has joined forces with BRE, creating a very, very powerful lineup that is probably the strongest lineup this clan has ever seen in their short history. But
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to make a statement with their newfound pieces to see if they can bring home their first major tournament win. And Banana Legion looking to do more of the same, just recently making their way into D1 for the first time not too long ago, and now proving themselves to be among these top level teams, making it all the way to at least a guaranteed third in Frontier here. So either way, both teams have a lot to play for, and
looks like we're dropping a bit of frames again, which is unfortunate, but hopefully the stream is still up.
Yeah, no, the stream should be fine, and looks like we've got
almost everyone in the room.
Almost a full room. We've got 10 in here. So not too much longer to wait. Obviously,
so while we're waiting, I would just like to ask, Awoken, how did you guys do in Frontier?
I'm actually really happy with how we ended up in Frontier. Unfortunately, we had a unfortunate first week. We were looking to make it. I play for United Bros, but we were looking to make it into silver bracket. Unfortunately, we had a bit of an unfortunate qualifying week, and we slipped down into bronze bracket. But we were able to fight our way back through losers and end up winning bronze bracket. So
that's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really proud of what we were able to accomplish there. A lot of great people on that team. Shout out to them.
if you're viewing this for the first time and you want to know how you get into the community, we have a Discord. I think it might be !Discord in the chat, and you can use that to get into one of our Discords. That's where we run all of our tournaments, and you can participate in ones like these. This is probably my favorite format, to be honest, because it's just a quick couple week tournament where you get together with a team and then you play through a gigantic double elimination bracket. And they separated a little bit on skills so that you don't have to play the super duper top teams, but you can also play some pretty difficult ones as well. So they'll separate it into 3 different brackets: bronze, silver, and gold. And depending on how well your team does, they can end up either in the bronze bracket or all the way up in gold. So
Yeah,
this is the losers finals of the gold bracket. So the very top level teams are going to be playing in this one, and
yeah,
we have the final 3. So
yeah. And also, if you'd like to, make your way into the community, like you said, there's the Discord, and there's also the website. You can all right now go to mkc.gg, and if you haven't already, make an account. Go get involved in the community. It's a great place over here. Despite what some people may say, it actually is a great community, and I think you guys will love it if you're not already a part. Well, yeah, still waiting on this room together, it looks like. Still waiting on those last 2 people. They've got about 3 minutes to join before they do get
before
a late penalty.
penalties start coming in.
I do think most of BL is here. I see you and I see Royal, I see Zeta, I saw Hedgie earlier. I'm not quite sure who is missing at this point, but it is 2 people. So
Yeah, and if we can take a look at the lineups again, just real quick.
mhm.
So I think the biggest thing that's going to come down to is whether or not uh, Thomas will be having to bag the entire time, and he does do that quite a bit. He's going to
Yeah,
be
he is a
he's
good
he's
backer.
he's very much a menace in the back, and if he's back there with you, you are dead. So you better not be back there with him. And if
Mhm.
you're bagging with him, you better hope you get the shot before him because they will use it straight away and very effectively. So
Yeah,
if you're BL, I think your plan here is to try and just get your top runners up there. Your Aplexes, your Royal, and you need to get those people up there fast, and you need to break them away because
yeah.
Thomas is either pulling the shock or he is killing all your bottoms. So I think that's a big part. We have Starlo as well. Fowler did not. Oh no, Valor's on. Is he on BRE? I can't
He's
remember.
on. I'm not sure where he is. I think he might be on Z. Correct me if I'm wrong. He
It's
might
either
be on
Zealous,
Zealous
it's Zealous or BRE. But either way, he's not here today. But we will be seeing an inward POV, so an inward bike
from
on LMDS's.
LMDS. Yeah,
Yeah, and we'll be
I
seeing.
believe that's the only inward in the lineup. No.
I think so. And then I think Aplex is either gonna play Biddy or he's gonna play Wiggler.
Yeah,
Either
more than
either
likely.
way, we have an exciting match for you guys, and it's about
Yeah.
to get started with Bone Dry Dunes.
hmm Valor is on Bree. We just got confirmation from the chat. So interesting to not see him here. Maybe he was unavailable to play today, but definitely a very, very strong player that cannot be overlooked. Was basically the MVP for Team France and bringing them the win over Japan in the World Cup. But regardless, we are now underway as we start off race 1 on Bone Dry Dunes. Looking like a good amount of BL top spots for the time being.
You're gonna see a
Obviously, the
lot
race
of
has just
people
started, but
drafting up here at the beginning, and it's gonna
yeah,
basically shape up after this item set right
yeah.
here. You're gonna
LMDS having
see.
a surprisingly clean start, able to because more than likely because of the weight advantage Import has, being able to keep these top spots and
We see a BRE top 3-5. Oh, a bomb coming up, not connecting. But we're gonna see LNDS Shroom up here,
yeah,
still keeping a top 3, top
a
4
top
now.
4 even,
Oh,
and
and
looking
looks.
like okay. The spacing seems pretty good.
Yep, and I
Yeah,
think a lot of BL are back. They're gonna have to bag
yeah.
for shock at this
Quite
point.
a bit of BL in the mid pack. It looks like that might even be a top 5 for BL. That bomb is iffy,
Not
but
connecting.
able to avoid it. Aplex going to get rid of this boomerang, which I agree
Not
with.
pulling a dodge.
Unfortunately, not quite getting the items he might have hoped for.
Might choose to red, yep. Choose to
Yep.
red out on the glider. Pulls triple shrews. This is a very nice
Yeah.
red.
This may or may not be a top 4 for BRE. There was another BL member up here, but I do not see where they are. So I'm going to assume that will be a BRE top 3, but a BL shock. Most definitely a
Early
BL
lap
shock.
3
As they
shock, but he
get
does
Aplex
pull
in the set.
shrooms.
They are able to dodge Ewan up there.
Unfortunately,
which is very helpful for
Aplex
them.
getting redded right after the
Aplex
shock.
getting redded, but does have the shroom to recover afterwards.
So 2,
I'm
3,
now
4 for
I'm now
BRE.
noticing the gigantic difference in saturation between these two capture cards. My god. Unfortunately, looking like Ewan... Actually, no. Ewan is able to survive that red. And it's looking
LMDS
like a
getting redded off the
1-3... LMDS does get redded off the glider. Unfortunately, Ewan just barely falling out of first quite at the end of the race. But it does look like quite a mix of top spots. More so BL than BRE, though.
Ooh, 2, 3,
And,
4,
a bottom...
6, 7.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy good for BL
2, 3,
considering
4,
the
6,
beginning of
7,
that
11,
race.
I believe.
Yep.
That's me. For BL. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 11. So I do think that'll be a win for them. Probably by like a bit, like about 10, a bit less than 10. Somewhere around there.
Minus 10.
And yeah, that will in fact
BRE.
be a plus 10 for BL to start us off. So they want to make this upset happen for a second time. And they have definitely put themselves in a good position to do so.
Interesting choice going for DKJ when they're 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Ice Ice is a pretty standard pick, but we end up getting Ice Ice here.
That's BRE picking. That's BRE picking DKJ.
Yeah,
and they have 1-5, so that makes sense. Ice Ice for 2, 3, 4 is
pretty standard, I'd say.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. I would agree with it, especially, the other team has an inward, and that kind of struggles on this track a little bit. But, like I wanted to mention earlier, but I haven't really had the time to, it's going to be interesting to see, how it will revolve around LMDS, being the only inward in this lobby, which, as we know from, Reese being as dominant of a player as he is, that inward on its own can make just a massive difference. Reese was on... Reese is in SX, who is waiting in the Grand Finals right now. We know how big of a difference Inward can make, despite it being an underplayed playstyle. Just the few players that have mastered it have been able to do so well. And LMDS obviously being one of those players is going to be very important.
It looks like BRE has a lot of bottom spots. They have 2 baggers going for shock right now. Doesn't look like they're pulling it here, but they're looking for it at least.
I do believe it's 2 of each team in the bottom 4 at the moment, where the most powerful items can be pulled, as we know. Unfortunately for LMDS, though, only quite able to get Shrooms in a star here, unless that changes right here. It does not.
This is going to be a good pull for him. He's going to pull this up into a mid spot and then potentially be able to dog shock, depending on.
We did see someone go into a ghost. I'm not quite sure who that was, but that bump is unfortunate. If I'm LMDS here, I'm just going to chain that. I'm just going to hold that star and then see what I can get from the next box.
You're going to see a lot of players with this exact item set, triple shroom star, and the reason why they do this is because they want to have the triple shrooms, not only because they're a good speed item, get into a mid spot or a top spot, but also to protect their dodge from any ghost that might be able to take it from them. So right now you're going to see Aplex using his dodge to try and predict it going on the glider. Not happening, it looks like it.
Another thing you may notice is that players will hold their stars for a long time if they do manage to get them. Great job by Aplex managing that pack and being able to get third, breaking that BRE top 3, and turning that into a 1-2-4. Still a winning race for BRE, but I do think that BL is still going to have the lead because they had a lot of mid spots in there.
Yeah, I think
but either way, like I said, you are going to see players holding their stars for a long time like Aplex did there. That is for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, you want to have a dodge for as long as possible. In case your team pulls a shock, you have to predict another team's shock. Shock obviously being the most powerful item in the game. But another reason that is because you are only able to pull one of most of the items in the game. So if you are holding a star into an item set, you are not going to pull another star. So if you're in the back, you don't want to keep chaining stars, then it's good to hold it so that you can at least guarantee yourself some other item, whether it be a bell or a golden or a shock.
It looks like we're gonna get Animal Crossing, a good bagger for BL.
Yeah.
And
able to be ran from the mid spots as well.
yeah, it's kind of like
Unless it's a bad season for
hybrid.
that. Yeah.
It's
It
like a
will be
hybrid
spring.
drafter / bagger that, depending on what you want to do with it, it can do a lot of damage because of the glider and the last cut.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see Aplex probably running off the bat.
Yeah. Spring
Pull
is
the
what
red, might be able to
spring
take
is
out
what would
Promise here.
generally spring is what would generally be considered to be the second worst stack season because random ramps everywhere can throw you off. Thankfully, it's no winter where the entire track is basically turned into Sherbet Land 2.
Exactly.
But
I kind of like spring though. I like all the ramps. It makes it more fun.
I kind of wish you could. I kind of wish you could TT every DAC form.
That would be cool, yeah. And is this?
But
wait, am I tripping or is this summer?
No, this is spring. This is spring.
Oh, okay.
Summer has the only ramps in summer is the ones on the beach. Spring has them everywhere, and it also has the cherry blossom trees.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna wait here to see. Okay, he's gonna use his bill so he can chain onto the glider. Perhaps pulling a shock. Nope, not quite.
Yeah.
Gonna look for a dodge here as well, and I think he is at the distance to do so.
Yeah. If he is, then he barely is gonna be.
Unfortunate. Blue bird.
A star there would have been a very lucky pull if he was able to get it, and unfortunately for him, he's gonna pay the price. That will be a BRE shock though. He's unfortunately not able to dodge. That might be what BRE was hoping would be the case.
Still a busted pull from that
yeah.
set. This is going to be great for LMDS. He might be able to get a top spot just based off that pull alone.
Yeah, as we know, the last turn of DAC is the single most chaotic point of any race in this entire game.
Both in 150 and 200cc, so...
Yeah. In 150 especially, it can be brutal. And, if one person in the mid spot pulls a bomb, then that can easily, with a pack this close, could kill like 3 people. And if you're in a star to end the race off, then you could easily gain like 5 spots just because everyone dies here.
LMDS coming up into the star. He's going to pull off the first top 2 for BRE.
Yeah. Not quite as much carnage happening at the end of this race as some other DAC races would show, but that still will be a slight win for BRE, and they are going to be able to extend their lead probably another 8 or so points. That top 2, 5, 7, 9, 12 for them.
I think we're going to see maybe a... so we have to see an inward track. So I'm thinking maybe PPS, Water Park. Maybe we'll
I would say PPS if I were Bray, I would pick PPS here.
Water Park. Makes a lot of sense.
Water Park also makes sense, yeah.
And sorry for the abbreviations, I'm just so used to it, but that's the Piranha Plant slide in the lightning clip, so.
Yeah. A lot of track names here in the community. Saying the names of tracks takes way too long for us. We don't have time for that, so
we don't have time.
We'll often just take, the first letter of each word and just call it by that. So Piranha Plant Slide is PPS. Grumble Volcano is GB. But we are getting word that was in fact a BL shock, so Royal unfortunately kind of fumbling the bag there. And allowing...
It was a pretty early shock as well, so...
Yeah, was an early shock, and BRE doing a great job of capitalizing on it. Being able to have 2, almost 3 members dodging up if LMDS was able to pull a dodge there. But he is going to have to run Grumble Volcano from first, which, as inward, is not an easy task. He does thankfully have a lot of his teammates behind him for support. We have Thomas in second, and another BRE member in third. Couldn't quite catch the name of them.
Yeah, running this in general
was BL's pick.
Pretty tough, but LMDS is making it work. And we're seeing Aplex in the back. He's probably going to be able to pull a dodge from this set and then shroom up and take the cut. Not getting a box, unfortunately.
Not getting a box, and...
Not getting redded, though. That's good.
Yeah.
He's on 9 coins and pretty close to first, so I think if he does end up...
Yeah, I would just grab a set here, then
Ooh, unfortunate.
Unfortunately, just
LMDS does
not
get
quite
blurred.
able to get the box he's needed.
BRE
LMDS
top
is going to fall
4.
out of first, but it will be a BRE top 4, so it hardly matters. If anything, this is good, because now we have Inward that is generally slower on this track, able to fend off those top spots,
Ooh, missing
keep
the
them
glider
from
ramp,
passing
though.
him, keep them from getting to BRE's top 3.
Ooh, getting
Unfortunately,
sniped
not
off the
quite able
track.
to see that Nana behind the blooper rank. The one thing the blooper is good for, and it will pay off for BL there.
And we see a lot of BL still back here. I wonder if they have the shock and they're just going to use it at this first set or maybe after the second set to chain into the
Aplex
doubles.
maybe at dodge distance. I think he's just barely outside of it.
I think so.
And
Oh,
is
he gets the
able to pull a
ghost.
ghost, which is very, very good.
That's the only dodge he could have
With the
pulled
amount of
there.
top spots that BRE has at the moment, that's going to be very, very helpful.
Ooh, LMDS with the star. Gonna
LMDS with
try
a
and
star of
predict
his
the shock
own.
here. Ooh,
And
not in time.
that is likely a BL shock,
That
if I
is
had to
definitely a
guess.
BL shock.
Yeah, if they were able to dodge Aplex there, which they were, Aplex is getting first.
Yep,
Yeah, Aplex is just gone.
100%.
It's gonna
He might be able to
take
back.
this last cut here. I wouldn't risk it.
I think
It's
he's
hard
gonna...
to get a good back on this track, especially at that kind of super tight area.
Okay,
But
1-4,
unfortunately for
7
BL,
for
Aplex
BL.
really being the only person that can take a massive benefit from that shock. He is MVP at the moment, but not quite able to get anyone else into a top 3 spot for his team. Still,
Really
a
good,
1-4-6-7 is not a bad race.
Really good, though, that they didn't dodge LMDS because he was probably getting first if he dodged. Because the star there is going to probably bring him up there, and then he could potentially bring up items that could kill out Aplex, and they'd be having a way better race. But they got a pretty much a tied race off of that after BRE had a top 4. So
Yeah,
nice
that is
negation there.
yeah. Will be a slight win for BL, which is good. Something that I personally think is very important, not very often talked about, but something that I think is very important in just Mario Kart Wars in general, but especially for this game, is momentum. You know, you can keep pouring on slight win after slight win, and if you just keep getting, like +4 after +6 after +6, eventually that becomes so much of a gap that you have no idea that your team is as far back as it is. You can keep thinking, oh, a -4 is not that bad, but if they keep getting -4 after -4 after -4, suddenly you're down so much, and it's because they were able to keep their winning momentum. So if BL's able to capitalize off of this win and turn it into even more slight wins, then that'll be very good for them. A
As we
plus getting
see,
redded out is not a good start to that, though.
alternatively to that, I think a lot of the times you see teams, getting these small wins, and then you see a big race from the opposite team, and that can be very tilting and not good for the mindset. So hopefully, for BL's sake, that does not happen to them in
Yeah.
this war.
Obviously, the most entertaining wars are the ones where just both teams are firing massive shots. You have +20, -30, +40, -30, +20. Those are obviously the most fun to watch, especially from a casting and viewing perspective. And it may even be fun to be a part of them because, it really gets your blood pumping, really gets the adrenaline going. But
See a BRE
what is
top
just as
3.
important is the war of attrition
Ooh.
that this may end up being if neither team gets out to a massive break here. Unfortunately, Aplex's stream going down, so we are going to be sticking with LMDS for a bit for the time being. Hopefully he's able to fix that sooner than later, but it may or may not be LMDS for the rest of this race.
And
Who does have Fire and Greens in 5th.
What was a top 2 for BRE? Just the first part of this lap is now turned into a 2-3-4 for BL, and now it looks like they're struggling to get back those top spots, and they might have to pull a shock here if they want to get back into the race.
That's exactly LMDS's plan. Okay, unfortunately, only able to get to a triple streams there, but is going to dodge. Not quite sure who shock that was. 2 BRE members dodging and 1 BL dodging. I would have to assume that's a BRE shock from the fact that LMDS just completely spammed his star.
Ooh, nice wall dodge. Getting it.
Able to wall dodge, but does have another red going for him after he bounces off so many of the walls there. Looking like a lot of top spots from BL, but a lot of BRE passing Aplex at the moment, who is thankfully back from
And here's
death the
Aplex
stream.
double running out.
And here's
LMDS that we
Aplex
just
running out
saw
LMDS, which we just saw.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Got to see the instant replay from both perspectives, and Aplex going to be trying to maybe get past a couple more BRE members. Unfortunately for him, though, does get fired out in the shortcut, and that will still be a very good race for BL. A top 2, 5, 6, 7. And Aplex also able to outplace LMDS in the back. So
did look like a BRE shock, but at the same time, it might have been a situation where someone, said that they did have shock, and then LMDS just like, okay, I'm gonna bag. I'm in a really bad spot here. And then he ended up getting the star and spamming it. So I think that in my opinion, I think it was a BL shock, but we're gonna
it was very even shock either way, but BL was very much able to capitalize off of it much more than BRE was, and that will lead to them getting the biggest race of this war so far, a +18 in their favor to retake the lead, and they lead by 6 with 7 races to play. This is a best of 1, I believe, right?
Yes, this is a best of 1, and then in the grand finals, it's going to be a bracket reset. So if BRE comes out with a win against Secret X, we are going to see another match. So stay tuned for that. It looks like we're going to get
that is if
Neo
BRE
Bowser
wins. I think you're a bit too far ahead of the script.
Oh yeah, my bad. Anyways, we're on BRE versus BL. So
yeah. There you go.
So now we see the LMDS in the back, but even though this is an inward killer in a lot of people's minds, I don't even think it's that bad in my opinion, because the bad stuff, you want the bad stuff for inward to be at the end of the track, which is what it is here. Right now you see LMDS pulling triple green shroom, and now he can just slow own the entire pack, and they have to stay behind him. So this is exactly what you want. Like, this is the perfect situation you want.
And here's the thing about the so-called inward killers. Yes, they are inward killers, but because they are inward killers, these are the tracks that the inward players will practice the most. Like, LMDS has probably spent a lot of time trialing, the Mute City, or not Mute City, the Neo Bowser City, rather. The Neo Bowser Cities, the Rainbow Roads of the world, but yeah, the so-called inward killers, like your new RR and your DNBC, those are going to be the ones that the inward players spend a lot of time practicing, so they're going to know how to play it despite thinking, oh, they're an inward, we have to pick this to slow them down. It does seem to be working at the moment, as LMDS is back here in 10th, but that could also mean that he's looking to pull something good for his team. We do see BRE in bottom 3 at the moment, and unfortunately not able to capitalize just yet. Star Golden, a very unfortunate item combo. Yep, as for BL, on the other hand, they're looking at a very solid run here with Aplex and Zeta comfortably holding this top 2. Not if Rhea has anything to say about it, though. That green very, very close to hitting. Does look like Royal's able to make his way into 3rd, though. Not quite sure what happened to that remember, but it will be a top 3 for BL at the moment. Which is ideal if Aplex doesn't fail his driving.
He does have a horn in 2nd as well, so
yeah, he does have a horn in 2nd, so any blue will not be a threat to them. What could still be a threat is Shock, now that their entire top 3 has passed last set, but at this point in the race, yeah, no, there's nothing more that BRE can do, and that will be a fantastic top 3 from BL.
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stops in this war. They just shut out LMDS, who was looking pretty good with those double green mushroom combo, but they ended up greening him, and top 3-5 for BL.
The top 3-5, 9-11. That's going to be, I believe, a +20 almost, if not
a little bit more.
Yeah, if not a little bit more. But yeah, BL making a statement saying, we may be the underdog, we may be seen as on the lower side of D1, but we are definitely a force to be reckoned with. And these top teams, these top D1 teams, like top 5 power rankings, like, no, we can compete with you guys, and we can pop off as much as we want as well. And with this big of a lead halfway through the war, they are definitely in a good position to make their way back in the grand finals.
Yeah, and I think if BRE makes the comeback here, it's going to be one of the greatest comebacks we've seen, because right now BL just has a huge hold on the top spots, and they really need to bring it back now or never. So
yeah, and it is in fact a +20 for Banana Legion, and now that the war is halfway over, we do see a +26 lead for BL at the halfway point as we enter Toad Harbor.
And this is a huge track pick for them, because if they can all 3 of the top, or 4 of the top 5 make the Nisk here at the beginning, the no item shortcut, right here you're going to see it. Okay, Aplex actually goes around.
Aplex and Royal going around, but they do, I believe, just want to give Zeta as big of a lead as possible to start it off, which does make sense. Aplex rather, able to get a trail off of that BRE member, it seems, which could maybe be helpful, but at this point in the race, when the pack is still this tight and it's still this early, we're about halfway through lap 1 now, but it's looking mostly like, never mind,
BRE
no,
top
we
2.
have a BRE top 2, or maybe even a top 3 somehow.
Yeah, it looks like Zeta got probably, they probably took the Nisk and then pulled a red on this set right here at the beginning of lap 1. And now they have a Horde in second as well. This is going to be huge for BRE. Maybe choosing to slow own Royal with the Horn instead.
Now it's up to what is Royal going to do about this. You know, if LMDS and
never mind.
Maybe that's a kill. It's not. Yeah, no, it's lag. All right.
Okay, ends up using the
not able to kill
got his teammate though.
Killed him. Got his teammate, but was able to get Royal, which I would argue is more important in a situation like this. We do have Ewan in third at the moment, who is looking to do something about this top 2 that BRE's had the entire race. Aplex, on the other hand, kind of struggling, but is going to hopefully be getting some good items here. A Bill will definitely do some work.
Trying to get the shock here, but doesn't look like he's getting it right now. Yeah. Unfortunately got a start. He's not going to be able to get from any items from this next set because the build will take him past that. He's just aiming to catch up at this point. And I don't think anyone from BL has the shock, and I don't know if it'll come out for a good race for BL at this point. I think they'll... Oh, they did pull the shock.
Yeah,
and they're dodging
able to dodge on the bottom path as well.
Huge
so
for Banana Legion.
This could potentially be big. Aplex is going to be taking first here.
Thomas basically giving up and surrendering first place to Aplex here. And now this is just going to be a huge race for BL. And BRE have their work cut out for them now. That's very lucky that the Ghost did not steal his shroom there at the end. That could have been pretty bad for him. But luckily for BL, they pulled the shock. And they got shrooms afterwards to take the cuts at the end and secure their top 2.
Yeah. It will, I believe, be about a tie for them, but at this point for BL, that's all they really need. You know, they got their, not quite what they wanted, but that will still be a slight win. That'll be a top 2, I believe, 8, 9, 11 for BL. And, you know, like I said earlier, you know, the war of attrition, you know, the war of momentum, if they can just keep pouring on slight win after slight win, that is a +8 for BL. So if they can just get races like that over and over again, then BRE is going to be in a hole way deeper than they think before they know it. Or BRE, rather. But I think, you know, a team as strong as them is going to...
This is going to be a good track pick for BRE. If they can pull off a big race, which is very, very likely on this track, this is going to be the start of a huge comeback for them. Yeah. And in this track specifically, you want to be in the back because... When you're in the back, you have more coins, and there's so much straightaway, and there's so much long turns that
a lot of people regard this as the best bottom 6 track in the game for that reason. Not quite a bottom 6 for BRE, but they do still have enough bottom spots that they feel a pick of this track is warranted. And if they can get their members with a lot of coins up to the front, like if LMDS can get to the front here, that'll be huge. They already have a top 3 at the moment. LMDS barely able to survive that bump from his teammate, which... incredibly well done by him, and he is basically gone in first. If he pops this coin soon, then he is sitting pretty, because if he just sits up here, 10 coins, and with his teammates behind him, especially on inward, then there's nothing that BL's going to be able to do. And BRE have gotten exactly what they wanted out of this track pick.
Yeah, and if there's anything we know is that it's very hard to pull shock on this track, so...
And as you can see from Aplex's struggles back here, being in the pack of this track is an absolute struggle, and you can see why it's so important to get up to the front as early as possible if you're in the back.
Does get a great item pull. Triple Shroom Star. The exact items you want, just like we mentioned earlier. He's going to be able to chain into this next set in 9th, getting maybe another star as well.
This is a lot of bottom spots for BL. They are 5 of the bottom 6 at the moment, if not bottom 6.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they pulled the shock, so this is going to be a huge race
This is
for
going to be
BRE.
a massive, massive race for BRE if it is what we think it is. I'm not trying to Caster's Curse. Okay, I'm not Caster's Curse.
Ooh, only pulling the shock at
maybe
the
a top
end.
5.
Yes.
A top 5-7. Yep.
And you can see how big that track pick was for them. I mean, if
BRE
it
just
was
took
the other track...
BRE just took back the lead.
Yep. And now we're going to see a huge runner come out for BRE. If they get this next track pick, then it's going to be really hard for BL to come back because just like Trainbow is one of those tracks where it's just like it all comes down to the beginning. And what ended up happening is that LMDS got up there. He was able to secure the massive drafts that his teammates got from him.
Yeah.
And they just pulled away.
The other day, I casted a match between Germany and Italy for EuroLeague, and in that match, there was a Trainbow race, and I believe Italy was able to get top 6 in said race. So that was almost the second time in one weekend that I casted a top 6 on Trainbow. Aplex, fortunately for BL, did have other plans, though. However, their entire momentum that they had for the entire second GP is now gone. And they're going to have to start from scratch here now that BRE has the lead going into the last GP.
And just like I was mentioning earlier, with all those, with that momentum, also comes the fact that if you break it, it's very, very tilting, and it's going to be hard for BL to come back mentally. And not to mention just the spots alone, especially on this track, RWS. This is just a top 3 straight off the bat, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, Royal attempting to make his way up here, and he's doing about everything that he can. I do think he was killed, though. We do have another BL member up here in the
having
form
2
of
reds
Rambo.
is just huge for him. Yep, he's going to be able to take out whoever decides to come up here, and the other red was taken out by the boomerang, but regardless, he was able to keep the top 3, and he might be able to pull even more reds here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a red and a shroom, the perfect combination, especially on this track with the ending cut coming up. Ooh, his teammate hits a banana and trails his teammate, so it doesn't look like they're quite out of this yet. And maybe a top 6, but they're breaking that with LMDS getting trailed by his teammate.
Mm-hmm. And now LMDS back here having to do the dirty work for his team. We do see a lot of BL in the back here, but LMDS being back here at this point in the war with the lead that BRE has is actually very important because this could very well turn into a shock-reliant race with how far back these bottom 2 have committed towards pulling the most powerful item in the game.
Unless Royal has it after gold. Nope, he doesn't have it, so it looks like this might be a shockless RWS, meaning that BL is going to have a very tough time coming back here. And LMDS pulling Golden Bill is quite unfortunate. You want it the other way around, so your Bill can take you right before the cut. But yeah, he's going to probably get last or 11th. But his teammates look like they're all up there, so it doesn't look like a problem for him. Yeah.
It will be a last for BRE, which could maybe mean something, but I doubt it will. Yeah, it won't. That's going to be a top 4-6. And BRE have woken up. You know, they said to BL, you know, enough is enough. We are going to tell you why we are one of the best teams in the world, and we are just going to put together 2 of the best races you can almost possibly have.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how important that Rainbow track pick, that N64 Rainbow Road track pick was for BRE. It just completely reversed the momentum, and now they're almost running away with it at this point. Yeah, now they're up 30, as opposed to only, you know, down 30 a little bit earlier. So
yeah. The one thing that we can hope is that we just have to hope that BL is not tilting right now. It's very, very hard not to in a situation like this, but you almost have to prepare for the worst when you're playing this game. You'd have to hope that BL is still in the right mindset because this war is far from over. This war is far from over, and they have proven that they are able to win in situations like this. They are down 30 at the moment, but they are definitely able to still bring this out with 3 races to play. They just have to be in the right headspace to do so, and we can only hope for BL's sake that they are.
And at least for them, right now, they got their track pick. And this is a massive bagger. It's the only track in the game, I believe, with 4 sets, which is a lot of items to play with, and especially when you can pull double items. There's double items almost every set except for the first one, meaning that there's a lot of items to cycle for shock. There's a lot of items to cycle for dodges, meaning that this is a huge bagger for whatever team.
And just with the nature of the track itself, with the amount of off-road underground, and being able to star through trains if you get a bad pattern online, stuff like that can make this, or what makes this track as big of a bagger as it is. And we all see a shock for BRE.
We could see a second shock be pulled from this set, and they potentially dodge their teammates with a shock.
The question is, does BL see this? They've got to see this. If Aplex slows down right now, then he's going to see it. Thankfully for BL, though, whoever's in last back there, I think it was Ewan, if I'm not wrong, but they were able to get that clutch shock pull and get it out of BRE, which is so important. There may be another one on lap 3, but what matters is the fact that they were able to...
Oh no, LMDS!
LMDS, come on, man! Oh, he's taking a clip of that. He's gonna be putting that one on. He's gonna be putting that one on Twitter later.
Oh,
my goodness, that is just sad. That's just sad. Like,
there's nothing sadder than your build getting eaten by a train. Very unfortunate.
Unfortunately for BL, though, there's still so many of them back here. There's Zeta, there's Royal, there's Ewan, and they're probably going to need another shock. The first one was super important for getting it out of BL's hands, but what does matter, that will be a Ewan shock, so that will make a couple of
it looks like BRE got bottom,
and it will be a 10-11. That will be a slight win for BL, I think. A top 2 7-8-9. Not a win by much, but it's a start. It's a start, and they have 2 races to expand off of that start. That's going to be a top 2 7-8-9-12, which I do believe is a slight win.
Initially, when I thought the shock got shocked out of LMDS, I actually thought that perhaps maybe they pulled 2 shocks and they just want to get LMDS before the set. But I think that was indeed a BL shock, just making sure that they got it out of LMDS. I think right now what BL needs is a runner that they're comfortable with, and a runner that, I was going to say it's consistent, but Cloudtop is quite the opposite of consistent in my opinion. But it looks like they're confident on it because they're picking it right now in the most intense situation of their tournament. So they're going to get it as well. So if anything happens here, it's going to be a big race.
Yeah, and that was, in fact, the start that BL was looking for. It wasn't perfect, but it was a +4, which is more than enough to, spark some confidence in BL and think, hey, we've got 2 races left. Let's make this comeback. This is Royal's team, and Royal is the one known for saying it is comeback time. So, let's see some CBT, guys.
And this is another one of those big inward killers. And this is probably, in my opinion, more of an inward killer than NBC. I don't play inward, but just because of the super bounce at the beginning, it's just a massive, it basically takes away any lead you would have if you were in first, and it takes away a lot of your comeback potential since everyone's going to be breaking away straight away. You're not going to get any boxes, just like we've seen with LMDS, and he's struggling right now. He's only on 6 coins at the end of lap 1, and he's not going to pull any dodge at this distance.
Mm-hmm. Is in a bottom 4 spot, or at least was in a bottom 4 spot, and is going to be slowing down to get some coins and to be able to secure himself some better items as well. We do see a good amount of BL in the back for the time being, which is probably not exactly what they were looking for, but they could also maybe be playing the shot game here.
Yeah,
this could be, them trying to psych out BRE by picking what is generally seen as a runner and then going for a shock, because Cloudtop Cruise does have 2 gigantic gliders that make for 2 of the best target shock spots in the entire game. So that could very well be their plan, but we have unfortunately not quite been able to get a glimpse at the top spots, as both the POVs are kind of stuck here in the pack.
And I think what LMDS wants here is he wants the triple shrooms before the star. Right now he has it out, so if there's a ghost in play, they might be able to steal the star. But at the same time, it looks like he's going to chain this at the set, and then maybe there's a shock in play. He's trying to get it so that maybe if his teammates get target shocked, he will dodge and get up there with them. It doesn't look like there is one, and this late lap 3, it looks like there's a lot of BRE up here, so they're gonna have to be very careful. Ooh, but he gets hit by the lightning, and this could be huge for BL.
Yeah.
One of them now in
Hedgie
third
is
place.
taken out. Unfortunately, not quite
Double
doing enough
reds
math to be
for
able to avoid that
LMDS.
lightning.
Oh, is BL in first? Are they top 2?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Ewan
looks like
getting 5th, maybe, unless he got redded out right before the line. But I do think that was Barry in first.
I do think
More
so,
than
but
likely.
it looked like Aplex
Let's
was
see.
backing all this stuff.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
gonna be a
or not Aplex, Grandpa.
2-5. It's gonna be rough. I do think that was a pretty even race, if not a slight win for BRE. But BL is gonna have to pull off something incredible if they want to win this race.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
they
a
need
2-5.
at
I think 7, 8,
least
9, 11.
they need at least a top 4 next race. That's for sure, and they're gonna have to find a track that suits that. I don't know if it's gonna be something like it might have to be just a massive bagger, maybe like RMC. Right now they're down 34, so it is technically possible.
It is
But
very possible.
because top 6 is plus 40, but at the same time, it looks like
They are going to need a top 5. They
they're
are
gonna
going
need
to need a
a
top 5.
lot out of this track.
They can absolutely do it. It's just going to take a top 5 to do it.
I feel like LMDS is hesitating to pick like a track that they don't. Yep, I was thinking Baby Park exactly, because Baby Park. The reason why you want to pick it here is because since it's such a chaotic track, oftentimes it just comes down to individual performance, and usually you're not going to see 6 people get bad spots on this track. So if they can pull off, literally any top 4 spot, they just win. So if anyone dodges, if anyone runs without a shock, like
Yeah.
they just win the match. So I feel for you, LMDS. I hate playing this track too, but you know what? It has to be done for the team. And we might see LMDS run this track.
I mean,
nope, he's gonna bag.
This does actually get bagged on 150, which I was surprised to learn when I did first find out about it. I mean, maybe the reason it gets run in 200 is because it's literally a 50-second track, but
yeah.
What we do know is, like you said, obviously this track is so chaotic to the point where it's almost impossible for a team to be able to orchestrate a good enough race to get themselves a top 6, especially with, chaos like this.
Is this stream down?
I think Majeri's screen share froze. I can see the stream going on MKC, but I think Majeri's actual screen share on Discord froze. So we can see some gameplay, but it's going to be a bit delayed. Like, we just now saw LMDS get to lap 4.
Yeah, my screen is completely back, so I'll turn on the Twitch stream and see what's going on there.
Yeah. On the Twitch stream, LMDS is on lap 5. He did just dodge the shock, and we do have Royal saying GG in chat, so I can only assume that BRE was able to pull it out. And it looks like they were. A 1-3-7-8 is barely not going to be enough. A very, very good fight from BL. They have nothing to be ashamed of. They were able to shock a lot of people in this tournament. I don't think many people thought that thought going into this tournament that BL was going to be a top 3 contender, but a lot of the BL lineup, coming in saying GG, and respect to them for putting together a very, very solid performance, doing a great job of making it further into bracket than a lot of people expected, and able to pull off a lot of upsets along the way.
And congratulations to BRE making it to grand finals, and this match between SecretX and BRE. Unfortunately, I leaked the script a little bit earlier, but BRE is now going to play SecretX, and stay tuned for that. It's going to happen in about 10 more minutes, so we'll see you guys then.
See ya.